I'm ChangeDaChannel, going over the news, calculating the inner workings of the system. Oh man, they got a lot of craziness brewing around the world as usual. But before the show, I was talking to my lady and was telling her about the continued saga of the war on raw milk. And the recent story I was reading over on InfoWars about LA County Health Enforcers conducting door-to-door raw milk confiscation operations. And she goes on this, she's like, what? She said, that's absurd. What are they going to do next? Confiscate mother's breast milk? And I laughed, and then it hit me. I'm like, dang, the TSA already does that. Man, but this is how things have gotten. This is how stupid things are. I mean, like us, we take a ride out to a family farm, pull up in the driveway, walk right up to the outdoor refrigerator, get some milk and eggs, and leave a few dollars in the cup. And that was there for that. I mean, we knew exactly where our product came from, and the condition in which the animals themselves are in. I mean, there's none of that wacky, cracky RBGH in it at all. And in case you don't know what you've been drinking, here's a few facts about that RBGH, which is in all the milk that you get at your stores. It's BGH, which is bovine growth hormone, is a genetically engineered potent variant of the natural growth hormone produced by cows. It's manufactured by those turds at Monsanto, and it is sold to dairy farmers under the name Prozac. It's injection of this hormone forces cows to increase their milk production by 10%. Well, here's a kicker, folks. BGH makes cows sick. Monsanto has been forced to admit to about 20 toxic effects, including mastitis, on its Prozac label. Mastitis is an inflammation of mammary glands in the breast or udder, typically due to bacterial infection via a damaged nipple or teat. Now, BGH milk is contaminated by pus due to the mastitis commonly induced by BGH and antibiotics used to treat the mastitis. BGH milk is chemically and nutritionally different than natural milk. I mean, this is apparent. But that crap is what they want you to drink. So much they raid raw milk farms with stormtroopers, man, going door to door confiscating raw milk. Come on, man. If anything, they should be busting Monsantos like that and then confiscating all the milk produced using these poisonous crap. But no, always messing with the little people. And seriously, look at the war on our nation's farmers all the way around the world. And all the farmers in the entire world for just over the last 30 years alone. American farmers should be put on the endangered species list and protected. And Monsanto, the awesome crew that brought us Agent Orange, merely manufactured yummy DDT, aspartame, PCBs, GMOs, have worked overtime to rid our world of family farmers. I mean, they have went way out of the way to do this. These people are pure turds through and through. Always have been from their inception. They busted time and time again, poisoning us and our world decade after decade. But they're going to mess around with the small family farmers and bust them instead, man. It's insane that they can even get away with this. That is why I know for a fact that these positions in our government and the mainstream media have been compromised, because none is saying anything about this absurdity. None is doing anything about it. I mean, let's face it, people, they really don't care about you and I at all. And as long as they get their money, power, status, cars, new cars, vacations, mansions on the hill, far away from the little people. I mean, and they don't have to see all of the consequences of their actions. They're peachy keen. And if they happen to have a moment of consciousness to acknowledge their blatant disregard for life and their greedy pursuit of profits, they brush it off as collateral damage. Isn't that a nice, neat word? Go to some fancy smancy $30,000 an hour spa and forget about it and continue onward as planned. I mean, these turds have not an ounce of shame. None. I don't feel a bit sorry for any of these turds when they are thrown to the wolves. You just collateral damage, turd. How does it feel? Another story I was reading earlier, that geezer, Secretary of Defense Leon Panetta, Following controversy over his assertion that seeking international permission from the UN to launch wars trumps the authority of Congress, he reaffirmed this premise during a recent testimony in which he again stated that Congress could play second fiddle to the international community. Oh, come on, man. Isn't it apparent, people? They are rolling on along as though we're not even a country anymore. Our Constitution? Psh, come on, man. Each of these turds' oaths are to defend the Constitution, but it's easily observed that they don't believe in it. They don't care about it no more than they care about us. They do what they want, and we take it. We watch them. We try and lie to ourselves by thinking they can't be all bad. But year after year, decade after decade, we see that this isn't the case. This is the world we live in, and it's getting crazy about the second. For instance, on one of my last shows on YouTube, there was a big debate about guns. It's always loads of fun to watch the gun and anti-gun nuts go toe to toe. I mean, personally, I'm a gun nut then. But, you know, the stereotype, yeah, I guess I would be a gun nut. But one with logic and realism refined. Anti-gun nuts are so scared of guns, that's why they're anti-gun. This is a fact. You want to make one of them crap their pants, set a gun out on your table, and watch their reaction when they see it. They act as though the gun is going to jump up off the table and fire at them. You know, honestly, I don't really care either way. You know, you can have your opinions, but where I do care is when you start telling me a bunch of baloney about them. Guns kill, blah, blah, blah. Like the world was such a peaceful place before guns came into the picture. Look, people, I would love to have one of every gun myself. I personally like to shoot different guns. I'm not some crazy dude sitting in the corner of a room looking around all paranoid, shooting at every little sound, thinking they're coming to get me, they're coming to get me. And that's how anti-gun nuts see us when they envision it. You know, the ones that really get me are those from other countries like the UK. And I don't have anything against the UK. It's just, well, being from the UK, we don't have guns, yada, yada, yak, yak, you know. It's like they don't even know about their own crime statistics, but want to try and tread on us. Come on, man. The UK has a rate of violent crime per 100,000 people as 3,993, where the U.S. has 469 per 100,000. And we have guns. And we have 253 million more heads than they do. New York has a population of 8 million, whereas London has 7 million. London's crime rate is about 7 times higher than New York. Now, don't get me wrong. I can respect others' rights, man. Just respect mine. And here's some interesting educational statistics for you. Guns save more lives than they take. They prevent more injuries than they inflict. Guns are used 2.5 million times a year in self-defense. Law-abiding citizens use guns to defend themselves against criminals as many as 2.5 million times every year, or about 6,850 times a day. Now, this means that each year firearms are used more than 80 times more often to protect the lives of honest citizens than they are to take the lives. Of the 2.5 million times citizens use their guns to defend themselves every year, the overwhelmingly majority merely brandish their gun and fire a warning shot to scatter off their attackers. Less than 8% of the time, a citizen will kill or wound his or her attacker. As many as 200,000 women use guns every year to defend themselves against sexual abuse. Armed citizens kill more crooks than police do. Citizens shoot and kill at least twice as many criminals as police do every year. Now, police shoot 606 criminals, and citizens have shot 1,527. Now, 2% of civilian shootings involved an innocent person mistakenly identified as a criminal. The error rate for police, however, was 11% more. I mean, that's 5 times as high. Now, do accidents happen? Yeah. They do, and that's with everything. There's no more than texting while driving drunk accidents, some pharmaceuticals killing someone. I mean, really, I would suggest to the anti-gun people out there, take a firearms course, a firearms safety course. Now, I'm not saying go out and buy a gun. Just take the course and get over your fear. It's silly. People have always found ways to kill each other throughout our entire history. I mean, doesn't that alone bust the guns kill fable alone? I mean, guns have never been the problem. It's the people. Anyhow, I'm going to take a short break, and when I get back, we'll go over some more of the hoodoo voodoo that they done did.
When I was young, my father told me, son, you're gonna fight many battles, but the war is never won. He said, all we need is a revolution. Just like the good old days when we were young and we fought the system. Then we got old and we lost our way. And we lost our way. And we lost our way. Mother told me, son, you got to follow the love and compassion, and from that you'll never run. She said, all we need is a revolution, just like the good old days when we were young and we fought the system. Then we got old and we lost our way. 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 Man, I'm telling you, it's only 13 now.
And I'm back. You've been listening to some tracks I wrote for some YouTube videos I've done. You can check out some of my work over at youtube.com/ChangeDaChannel. NATO Summit will be kicking in this Sunday in Chicago. And man, these guys have been preparing big time for this one. From running those military operations to warning the citizens to plan to be out of town, or they might be confined to their homes, to doing preemptive arrest of activists. But preemptive, here we go with this thing. They're going to, this another word, another phrase that they're going to use, and they're going to run it into the ground and give people an inch. They're always going to take a mile. Now, here's what the National Lawyers Guild press release said. The National Lawyers Guild condemns a preemptive police raid that took place at approximately 11:30 p.m. Wednesday in the Bridgeport neighborhood, and instances of harassment on the street in which Chicago police are unlawfully detaining, searching, and questioning NATO protesters. The Bridgeport raid was apparently conducted by the Organized Crime Division of the Chicago Police Department and resulted in as many as 8 arrests. According to witnesses in Bridgeport, police broke down a door to access access a 6-unit apartment building near 32nd and Morgan Streets without a search warrant. Police entered an apartment with guns drawn and tackled one of the tenants to the floor in his kitchen. 2 tenants were handcuffed for more than 2 hours in their living room while police searched their apartment and neighboring unit, repeatedly calling one of the tenants a commie faggot. A search warrant produced 4 hours later after police broke into the apartment was missing a judge's signature. According to the witnesses, among items seized by the police in Bridgeport raid were beer-making supplies and at least 1 cell phone. Beer-making supplies? Come on, man. What a bunch of turds, man. The NLG has received reports that at least 20 people have been arrested so far this week, and 2 people are still in custody, not including the Bridgeport residents who are still unaccounted for, the press release states. Unaccounted for? What? See, these are the type of things that get frequently thrown into the mix as they tighten their grip on us. How long do you think it will take before it's normal for people to just get arrested and disappear? I mean, when people would just shrug and say, well, they must have done something awful. Yeah, like prepare to exercise their First Amendment right. That's some awful stuff, people. Home brewing beer. Oh, my goodness. They are on with the WMBs. And let us not forget H.R. 347, which restricts any type of protesting at restricted buildings or grounds. Restricted buildings or grounds is termed of the White House or its grounds, or the Vice President's official residence or its grounds, of a building or grounds where the President or other person protected by the Secret Service is or will temporarily be visiting, or of a building or grounds so restricted in conjunction with an event designated as a special event of national significance. Now that last one is the one I'm always looking for in these bills. It's always open the door for them to use a power whenever they want to, for whatever reason they want to, and nobody reads these things for the most part. I wonder how many people out there in the world actually read the Patriot Act. Referencing the amendments, it changed to the degree that they had full understanding of what it even is. The average zombie hears about events happening in the world, then at that time automatically thinks because of who is doing it, it must be legal. And if it doesn't seem legal, their worries will quickly be put to rest by the mainstream media, no matter how it's presented. It's in the bill. It was added to the bill at the last moment. It was a signing statement added. It was an executive order, and on and on and on. It sounds important. Must be important. Therefore, I can go on with my day as though it's all good. It isn't good, people. It isn't at all. It's mostly bad. It really is. And that's why people are such defeatists out there. They call it being realistic, but they don't see the good coming out of all of this. They say, well, what are we doing about this? Or what are you doing about this? But sitting on YouTube, repeating yourself over and over and over again. They want instant gratification, not acknowledging the slow and steady progress that has been and is being made. It's all or nothing. And that's trying to walk before you crawl. Sitting on your YouTube, posting videos, people doing documentaries, researching. The sharing of information is working, people. It is. This was going on long before we were here. The people before us left us the blueprint to win this war. They passed us information which we will keep alive. We will evolve it. We will progress it. We will share it, seeing what works and what doesn't work, passing it onward to the next brightest minds who will take it further. The most important part of this strategy is to keep pushing and evolving the ways to present this information and keep waking people up so that they can join in with preserving the true history of our world, making it as viral as possible. Man, what does that do? The defeatist will ask. It keeps the battle going, and it adds troops. I truly believe we will win, or we will continue to fight. But one thing is for certain. They can't win. They can't. Their way is flawed. So they themselves even just keep struggling as well fighting a losing battle, though. How long do you think it would take? How many more generations before this kind of information has spread to all and all have woken up? I don't know, that's just something to ponder. Anyhow, that's all the time I have for this news on Friday, May 18th, 2012. I'm ChangeDaChannel, and I'll catch y'all next time. And I'm out.